楽しい楽しい
How does the average anime fan indulge themselves into the vast abyss of the Toaru franchise? There have been plenty of videos that already explain what is the best or correct way to start the franchise. So what is the point of this video? All these videos explain the watch order for each season of Index and Railgun. However, none of these videos explain the read order for the franchise for those interested in diving into the ultimate Toaru experience with the light novels and manga. This is because many fans are turned off by reading a series rivaling One Piece in terms of content, with Index alone having nearly 60 volumes by the time of this video. But reading the series truly is the best way to experience Toaru in my opinion. If you're curious for my reasons for this, I recommend watching my 5 reasons to read the Toaru light novels video and my video on the Index anime criticising it. Before we start, I did make a promise that I will make a video explaining how Esper powers work at 3,000 subscribers, but I will knot this back to 2,900 subscribers. So if you get me to that number, then I will release that video for you guys. So I knotted down, so help me get there. Thank you very much. Before talking about the novel order, I will briefly cover the anime watch order. As I've said, the watch order for the anime has been done by so many fans, therefore I'll be pretty quick with it. The best way is to watch the airing order of each season, so starting with Index Season 1, then Railgun Season 1, then Index Season 2, then Railgun S, then Index Season 3, then the Accelerator anime, and then Railgun T, with the added option of watching the Index movie in between Index 2 and Railgun S. But the Index movie is not compulsory by any stretch, as it doesn't really have much relevance to the main story, so you can afford to skip it if you feel the need to do so. The series is simply too tedious to watch chronologically, as if you've watched Misty's video on it, you will be aware that Railgun and Index overlap in the timeline, therefore you will have to keep switching between Index and Railgun to get a true chronological experience during your watch. It's really not worth doing it in that way, as it will honestly be more confusing and messy. The airing order is a good introduction to the franchise, and I highly recommend it, therefore I believe it is the best option. Now, on to the read order. I hope you prepare yourself, as this franchise becomes even more vast once you take the step from being an anime only fan to a dedicated light novel fan like myself, but I can't stress enough how much it's worth it. If you didn't know already, yes, the primary canon source material for Toaru is the Index light novels. While Index does have a manga, it is not the true canon, as it skips 2 arcs and is even behind the anime currently, while the novels are both way ahead of the anime and manga. Railgun and Accelerator, on the other hand, are both based off manga. The following read order features only canon material, so no crossovers or parodies, and is everything I deem is worthy of your time. Let's begin. First, on your ultimate Toaru adventure, you want to start with Old Testament Volume 1 to 13. What is Old Testament? Well, the Index light novel is in fact 3 light novel series so far. Think of JoJo Part 1, 2 and 3. It's that kind of sort of thing, except you don't get different Jo stars with Index, you get the same main character in Kamijo Toma. So the first light novel series of Index, the one that is covered by all 3 seasons of the anime, is Old Testament. So Old Testament is the first one, then New Testament is the sequel to Old Testament, and then lastly Genesis Testament is the third and ongoing light novel series for Index, and that is the sequel to New Testament. Anyway, after you finish volume 13, you want to read Side Story 1 of Index, as that covers the end of season 2 of the anime, that little 2-episode arc at the end, which is the Skill Out Uprising arc. So chronologically, that takes place straight after Old Testament 13, so you might as well read it then. Next, I recommend reading Old Testament Volume 14 and 15, and straight after that, the Dark Matter manga, and I'll explain my reason why now. So, A Certain Scientific Dark Matter is a spin-off manga of Index featuring the character Kikine Teitoku, who appears in Volume 15, or in the Battle Royale arc as it is known. Now, this single volume fleshes out the character of Kikine considerably, so it's your option if you want to read it before or after Volume 15. I recommend reading it after, since this volume was released quite recently, many years after Volume 15 was first released, so it is up to you when you read it. Before or after is up to you, but I do recommend reading it as it does improve Kikine quite a lot in my opinion. Next, you want to read Old Testament 16, just the one volume this time, and then after that, you want to read Side Story 2 of Index. The reason being simply, I'm pretty sure that Side Story 2 was released after Volume 16. That's pretty much the only reason why. I mean, you could read it after you finish Old Testament, but you might as well read it after that. It's up to you though. It won't ruin your experience if you decided to read it after you finish the main first series of Index. Make your own decision, I guess. Next, you're going to finish Old Testament by reading volumes 17 to 22. And congratulations, give yourself a pat on the back, you've finished the first light novel series of Index. But there's a shit ton more to go, so get ready. Next, I recommend reading Norse Mythology SS. Why do I recommend Norse mythology at this point? Simply because Norse mythology fleshes out a character I won't mention, so since I don't want to spoil you about it. In New Testament, she appears in New Testament. Well, that's a clue, she's a girl, there you go. But it also establishes different concepts and themes you find in New Testament, which is pretty important. You can either read Norse mythology after Volume 1 of New Testament or straight after Old Testament. In my opinion, I think that is the best way to read Norse mythology. Also, if you haven't watched all 3 seasons of the Railgun anime, I recommend you reading Railgun 1 to 10. Similarly to Norse Mythology SS, it helps flesh out a character who has a decent role in New Testament, so that is the main reason why I recommend you starting Railgun if you haven't already. Alternatively, you don't have to read the manga, you can just watch all 3 seasons of the anime, since the anime does a very good job at adapting the events of the manga. So either the manga or the anime is fine. Also, if you want a little bit of a bonus to read, you can also read the Astral Buddy spin-off, which is a spin-off of a spin-off. It's a spin-off of A Certain Scientific Railgun, which is a spin-off of A Certain Magical Index, if you want to go full circle right there. But I do recommend reading this as it is a great spin-off, even if it's not too important to the overall story. It is a great spin-off, unlike A Certain Scientific Accelerator, which is a pile of shit. Now then, you can finally start New Testament, and there won't be any interruptions this time like in Misty Chronexi's video, since you can just binge read all of New Testament, starting from New Testament Volume 1 all the way to New Testament 22R, which is the 23rd volume of New Testament, confusingly, as there is a New Testament Volume 22, but 22R is the sequel to that volume, so just consider it as Volume 23, and you should be sorted. Then you finish the second series of Index, and you can finally get caught up to date with the rest of us by reading Genesis Testament, and currently we're up to Genesis Testament Volume 4, so the first 4 volumes so far. But if you're watching this video in the future, then there likely is more volumes out at the moment than just the 4, so keep that in mind. Now, I know what you're thinking, where do I read Index? So, Yen Press has fully translated all of the first light novel series of Index Old Testament, so you can buy the physical books in English, although, just a secret, I'm not a huge fan of the translation. So the other option is to be a pirate, army hearties, and find the best possible translation by downloading the light novel series, which has been fan translated online. Although you cannot read it online, unfortunately, like New Testament, since New Testament has not been given the green light in English yet. So you can still read New Testament online at Bakasuki, link in the description, as well as Genesis Testament. But like I said, you cannot read Old Testament online legally. So sorry about that. Also, about my list, you may have noticed I haven't included some spin-off and side story volumes, so I'll explain why. Why do I hate the Accelerator manga? Why is it not important? Well, it doesn't contribute anything really to the overall story, and it does not flesh out or improve any of the characters of Index, unlike the other spin-offs I mentioned, which is the main story of the franchise. A Certain Magical Index, Railgun is not the main story of the franchise. And plus, the Accelerator manga sucks ass. So watch my video about it if you're curious as to why. Aeon, what about Biohacker, Volume SP, Amakusa SS, Agnese SS, the Railgun SS novels, etc. In my opinion, these volumes are completely optional, and if you somehow are desperate for more Index after my recommended reading list, basically you're a madman, then you can check out these volumes. The reason I didn't include them is simply because I feel like they aren't important enough to be considered essential reading. That's just my opinion, don't hate me for it. These stories do further expand the giant world of the franchise, so that is one huge plus if you do decide to venture further, but don't expect these volumes to blow your mind like the main Index story volumes do. Anyway, I'll be ending this video here. If you have any questions about starting Index, myself or other friendly Toaru nerds will help you out start this incredible journey of one of the greatest light novels and pieces of literature ever written. Peak fiction, Twitter, yes! Anyway, I should calm down. So yeah, thank you for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe for more content if you haven't already. I'm Mr. Toaru Man. You can call me that if you want. Nah, it's kind of cringe, don't do it. Anyway, see you all in the next video. Bye bye.